So we all know that the Great Commission, what Jesus gave us, go and make disciples, every follower of Jesus knows that term is used. And there have been libraries of books written on how to make disciples or what a disciple is or what things you need to study or what things you need to learn. But the question that we want to ask ourselves is, what does a disciple of Jesus actually look like? And fortunately, as in many cases, Jesus helps us with this when in John 13:35, he basically tells us, he says, "This is how they'll know that you're my disciples, by your love for one another." So Jesus gives us this incredible understanding that the way that we would know that we're disciples is the way that we actually love. Why? Because God is love. So if we're following God, we're going to be growing in love. And just think about for a second how different that is from a lot of the different forms of discipleship that we've seen. He doesn't say that it's in how many books of the Bible you've studied, which is really good, or in how often you go to church, or how much you know about, the ways that different understandings of theology come into play. He doesn't require that, even though all those things may be good. But you can have all of those things, and Paul tells us if you don't have love for others, you'll be absolutely nothing. And so the ways of Jesus, the actual what does a disciple look like, it's not complex or intellectually difficult to understand. It's just incredibly hard to do. There's this quote by G.K. Chesterton that says, "Christianity has not been tried and left wanting. It's been found hard and left untried." Basically, we see this call to love like Christ. And that's not a love, love in our society has become so overused as to almost mean nothing. We love our dog, or we love our plant, or we love our job. But Scripture tells us what love is. It says, this is how we know what love is, that Jesus Christ laid down his life for us on the cross. And we ought also lay down our lives for each other. So this is not a weak love. This is not a love that just is a nice feeling to someone. Jesus is actually asking us to lay our lives down for each other, and not just each other. Jesus tells us in Matthew 5, we're to extend this same love not just to our friends, not just to our family, it's not just to the people who are nice to us, but even to our enemies. And that is an incredible request, an incredible command. And so when we are looking to make disciples, or when we are looking to be a disciple, we have to ask ourselves, am I growing in love? Am I actually longing or seeing myself laying my life down for those around me? Because if I'm not, Scripture tells us over and over again, if we say we love God but we don't love our brother and sister, we're actually not even telling the truth. And so a lot of the resources on this site are going to be designed to help you learn how to grow in love, experiencing God's love for you, and giving that love away so that we make disciples that look like the kind of disciples Jesus was talking about when he said, they're going to know you're my disciples by your love.